Der Eisendrache, DLC 1 for Black Ops 3, is often considered the best zombies map of all time. To many players it is, to a very small few it isn't. Does it deserve the title best zombies map of all time? Well, let's find out today. So starting us off is the pros, and to lead us off in the pros is the lore. After snagging a robot from the giant facility, Primus teleports to the Deceptio fracture with the help of Maxis, where a Dempsey in cryostasis resides. The mission is simple: extract Dempsey's soul. Just like the giant, this isn't from the BO1 timeline, but a different dimension and timeline altogether. Anyway, as the Primus crew chase the truck carrying Dempsey, a soldier blows up the robot they are in and sends the Dempsey test subject to Griffin Station on the moon. After arriving at the castle, Primus and especially Richtof and Fool Dr. Groff retrieve Dempsey from the moon, charge the summoning key, and redirect the castle's rockets to blow up Griffin Station. A crazy turn of events. Afterwards, Primus go to shut off the cryostasis chamber. Dempsey volunteers and regrettably kills his ultimate self before Richtof retrieves Dempsey's soul, and they continue their next mission. I tried summarizing that down because this map has a crap ton of lore to it, and the intricate details would take forever to cover, so I just wanted to summarize it as best as I could and get the main events and points in there. Anyway though, the lore is of course great as always. Something else great about this map is the aesthetic it has going for it, the very cold aesthetic that's similar to Origins, except this mainly takes place in a castle. This is also based on a real life locations, which is something extremely cool, along with the fact that this map has a lot of mythology in terms of the storyline related to the Great War, which can keep you theorizing for hours. It's really great stuff. Something else that can keep you playing for hours on end is Primus. Yes, once again, Primus is one of the reasons I like this map so much. They're just so awesome, and just being able to have them on this map, hear their thoughts and details, and like having Dempsey at the end of the map and the Easter egg, regret killing like his former self, he has to like think it over, Richtof and letting him down from the summoning key charge. Primus is just the character development and personalities of the characters and the character conversations, picking up even from the giant. It's just these characters just stand out, and the writing is just so sublime. The Primus section counts for the rest of the Black Ops 3 maps, a huge spoiler of course, but I just want to get this in there so I don't have to be talking about Primus for the rest of the maps, because I know that would get on some people's nerves. Anyway though, moving on from Primus, which are of course are a great addition, we actually have a new type of fast travel to talk about, the Wonder Sphere. This lives up to its name, and it's actually a really fast travel. This thing, you need to link a landing pad similar to linking like a teleporter on Kino, and then across the map you'll see like these little stations. You go up to them and you just go flying to the set location. There's a lot of lore behind these, and of course Richtofen talking about how people miss the targets. Oh gosh. All in all, the Wonder Spheres are an amazing fast travel. They're cheap, they're fun to use, and they're really cool. Something else really cool is the Death Ray, which is a new trap on this map. Yeah, it's pretty much a glorified electric trap, but it's great for taking out the once again returning mini-boss, the Panzer Soldat. Taking more note from Origins, the Panzer actually returns. However, it's not the same Panzer. The Panzer now uses shock charges instead, which in some cases can be a lot more deadly as they stop you and hurt you in your tracks. When the shock charges explode, they leave you vulnerable to zombie hits and panzer hits. So if there's multiple panzers, you're going to be in a huge amount of trouble. These panzers also have insane damage reduction against really specific weapons like the Haymaker, the Dingo, and very high damage weapons, so you got to keep that in mind. The Panzer is really no pushover, and this map of course is known for being extremely easy, and the Panzer's health scales so high in the later rounds that this map becomes an extreme challenge because of this guy alone, and he's a welcome addition in my book. Something else welcome to counter him is the Panzer Claw, which around the map you'll see some Panzer Claws just stuck on the ceiling. Shooting them down and killing 3 Panzers with all of these without missing once would net you a Panzer Claw, which gives you like insane damage reduction from the Panzer. I admittedly don't like the design of the Panzer Claw on your head, but for doing like the Easter egg or something, you're going to make sure to want to pick these up when you can. Something else awesome about this map that returns is Wonder Fizz from Origins. Yes, Wonder Fizz makes its grand return. This map takes a lot from Origins and just improves on it, and I can't get enough of it. The fact that Wonder Fizz returns is awesome and allows you to get the perks that aren't on this map. Those being Widow's Wine. Yup, still got it. Deadshot and Electric Cherry, and allows you to get more quick revives in solo, of course. I will say that quick revive has an extremely low chance, and so does Widow's Wine. For some reason, the rates for Widow's Wine on the normal BO3 maps are extremely low, so you're best off using a Gobblegum to get yourself a copy of Widow's Wine. But it is possible to get it, and Wonder Fizz is always a welcome addition in my book. Something else welcome to this map is a returning feature from Mob of the Dead, the Gondola, except this time you don't actually get on the gondola, barring, of course, the intro, because your characters, of course, take the gondola to get up to the facility. The gondola Gondola is great. You can get tram fuse power-ups, which are, of course, a new power-up on this map from zombies. You start out with one. And you can call the tram up and get yourself a free drop. Throwing your grenades in the tram at the beginning of the game and calling 5 trams will let the second gondola car come up, which contains stuff like ray guns, monkey bombs, or even pack-a-punch weapons. The gondola is an awesome feature and can give you some really clutch max ammos in this map. And of course, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room about this map, is the 5 new wonder weapons. Not 4, 5. We have the Wrath of the Ancients, which can be upgraded into 4 different variants. The Wrath of the Ancients itself is like, think of the fire staff when it's unupgraded. It's pretty much that. It's a bow and arrow that shoots explosive rounds that can completely destroy zombies, even on pretty decent rounds like 15 with double tap. The Wrath of the Ancients alone, even without any upgrades, is pretty good and packs quite a punch. However, of course, the Wrath of the Ancient is going to want to be upgraded, and it has 4 different elemental upgrades with their own quests that are a lot more simple than Origin's staff quests. Of course, on the first run around, you're going to want to use guides, but eventually, you're going to be able to do every single one of these without a guide, and that is something I cannot compliment this map enough on. In performance, though, these bows are unbelievably broken, starting with the fire bow, of course. Similar to Origins, the fire staff is once again used for bitch get out the way type of playstyles, where it just one-shots anything with its charge shot, and then its normal shot is extremely good. The electric bow is great for area denial with its normal shot, and then its charge shot's an electric tornado, similar to the wind and ice staff from Origins' staffs. The void bow is great for an area of effect type of play. Shooting an arrow, regardless if it hits a zombie or not, will cause an Apothicon skull to come out to chew on zombies, and using a charge shot will open a dimension from the dark ether where Apothicons will actually come out and just chew every single zombie on the map, killing them instantaneously. This thing is great for the Easter egg. And then the wolf bow. This bow's lore is something that makes me want to get this bow a lot. It's a really fun bow. Whenever you use a charge shot, it sends zombies' souls flying backwards, and then just shooting the bow normally gets the job done well enough. It's not great for the Easter egg in solo, but the wolf bow is super fun to use, and unfortunately does have one of the harder upgrade quests if you don't know what you're doing. But for the most part, this bow is definitely welcome, and is way better than all the guns on the map anyway, and you're going to want to pick it up for sure. Something else you're going to want to pick up is this new specialist, the Ragnarok. The Ragnaroks are awesome. Think of gravity spikes. Instead, though, you punch zombies with them, you can do a jump spike attack, and you can place them down on the ground to create a force field that no zombies can enter. This is great for trying to like revive a teammate or something like that. These things are awesome, super easy to build, and something you're going to get every single time you play. A feature not talked about too much though is the plunger. The plunger is a really cool addition to this map. Doing a very admittedly tedious quest allows you to get the plunger, which when you kill a panzer allows you to one-shot any enemy for a minute straight with your melee. Doesn't sound very good on paper because of the fact that melees are not normally an AoE, but for the Easter egg, it's very good. And speaking of the Easter egg, we have the Easter egg itself in the pro section, finally. Because for one, you can do it solo, and 2, the steps are great, so let's hop right into it. So the first step, of course, is to turn on the power, something you would always do in any game unless you're a nut job. The second step is to upgrade the Wrath of the Ancients equivalent to the amount of players in your game. So if you have 1 player, you need 1 bow, 4 players, 4 bows, and then so forth, so on. This is how it should have been in Origins, but at least it's here in this map, because if this was how it was in Origins, Origins would be like 20 times better. Anyway, though, after you upgrade the bow, you're going to want to get the Wrath of the Ancients base form back, and then shoot the teleporter in the vault room. After that, you're going to need to find 4 wisps, grab your upgraded bow, and then shoot them all with your upgraded bow shot. After you do this, run back to the teleporter room, go on the teleporter, make sure there's no rocket test going on, we'll get into that, and then you'll realize you teleport back in time. You'll see Dr. Groff talking to Richthofen. While he's talking to Richthofen, you're going to want to go over to either side of the map, pick up 2 parts, and then wait for Dr. Groff to type a code in on the vault. After he does that, take note of the code, and then you're going to get sent back to the main map. After you get back here, panzers are going to spawn, so you're going to run over to the Wonder Sphere and leave. Anyway, though, head up to the Death Ray, kill the panzer, and insert the fuse into the Death Ray, then switch it to Protect. Turn on the Death Ray, then run over to the computer, and enter the code that you saw Dr. Groff type into the vault. After that, switch the Death Ray back to Destroy. Right after you switch the Death Ray back, head over to the vault that Dr. Groff was at, and retrieve the parts inside. Head back up to the Death Ray after that, then place the fuses on either side of the Death Ray. Then after that, you're going to want to play 2 games of Simon Says. Be careful though, because if you fail either of the Simon Says games, even if you're on the second one, you're going to need to redo them all. And make sure you place the fuses on the Death Ray, because that's super easy to forget about. Anyway though, after you do that, you're going to go back up to the Death Ray. Then you're going to want to press this green button, which will summon Dempsey's pod from Griffin Station all the way down to the map itself. When this happens, the Vril device, yes, the Vril device will fly out of the pod, and then you're going to pick that up, and then you're going to run into the room where you pick up the Wrath of the Ancient to place the Vril device in the statue socket right here. After you do this, you're going to once again want to do the whisk step again. This is really stupid. However, I should note that you can do the whisk step literally seconds after you do the first whisk step. So while you do need to do it twice, you can do it in rapid succession, so it's not really a big deal. Anyway, though, do the whisk step again if you haven't already, and then grab a plate from going back in time. When you head back in time, you're going to want to press F on this computer or X, whatever you're playing on, pick up this rock, and then you're going to head over to double tap when you get sent back, and then place this stone slab in the wall right here. After this, you're going to want to follow the Ghost Keeper around the map to 4 different locations, and then kill zombies with the specified bow that he's asking for. Anyway, though, after you do that, you're going to want to build the Ragnaroks, which once again you can do before the step even starts, and then you want to return to the Undercroft to summon the MPD. Yes, the MPD from Moon we summon. After you summon the MPD from Moon, you're going to place the 115 canister you picked up from going back in time to fix the MPD, and then the MPD will reveal the Keeper inside of it. So what you want to do next is use the Ragnaroks on one of these plates around Eternal and Zero Gravity, and then you're going to get sent to the very first Zombies boss fight. Yes, Zombies actually has its own boss fight finally, and it's no pushover either. Pretty much what we want to do is run around the map, avoiding all the Keeper's attacks. For one, of course, he can summon zombies, which are actually skeletons in this fight. He can summon Hellhounds, which are a bit more red for some reason. And of course, he can use all elements of the bows against you, so be very careful. After avoiding all of his attacks, which are pretty simple if you know what the bows do, eventually he's going to start charging up the electric bow attack. What you're going to do is pick up your Ragnarok and then place it down in the middle. After that, the Ragnarok will stun the Keeper, then you're going to unload your gun into his chest, and then you're going to end up picking your Ragnaroks up after. You got to be careful, and I would recommend shooting him with the bow, because if you don't do enough damage, what's going to end up happening is the cycle is going to repeat, and you're going to need to do all of that again without a max ammo. This will lead us into a bit of a problem where you can die of an ammo shortage in this fight if you're not careful enough, especially in solo. So definitely keep that in mind, and make sure to come prepared. Anyway, though, after that, you're going to want to pick up your Ragnaroks, and then you're going to have to survive a wave of Panzers. This is where the Plunger comes in play. If you have the Plunger, you got to kill one Panzer, and then you can just one-shot the rest of the Panzers. However, if you don't have the Panzers, I'd recommend running the KRM in this boss fight, as it can make short work of the Panzers. After the Panzer onslaught, you just do that again 3 more times pretty much, and eventually the boss will die. This boss is unbelievably difficult if you're not prepared, and as I said, there is a problem with ammo shortages in this fight. If you're not prepared and don't come in with enough ammo, or you just for some reason don't do enough damage, you will die of an ammo shortage, which is just terrible design in my opinion. But its first boss fight, it is pretty good, and if you manage to defeat each Keeper's phase, you do get a max ammo refund, so you get a lot of max ammos if you're moving along smoothly. So just make sure you're prepared, and you pretty much won't have any trouble with this boss. Anyway, though, the fact this map had a boss fight is just unbelievably awesome, and it is one hell of a boss fight even to this day. Anyway, though, after the boss fight, you're going to want to pick up the summoning key after charging it from the MPD. Pick it up, head back up to the computers where you did the first Simon Says game, and then you gotta watch this amazing moment happen.
Containment fuse, but first it needs a little more energy. Protocol initiated. 30 seconds to impact. You're eating multiple rocket launches. What have you done? You are a fool, Beethoven! Even the destruction of this facility and my own death will not prevent the advancement of our cause. You have stopped nothing!
We don't need the moon, right?
Never fails to send chills down my spine, and we're not even at the Easter egg cutscene. Yes, there's a cutscene too, which is, it's so emotional for something that doesn't even have much dialogue with the person he's trying to kill. You can just see the emotions on the character's face. You can see the character development in Richtofen. You can see how everyone learns to trust each other more because they realize how dire their situation is. This is why I'm talking about Primus being amazing. Not just because they're badass, but because they're actual people that go through shit, that learn, improve, and just trying to secure a better tomorrow. It's just the most inspiring, awesome, badass shit, and I will never get enough of it, dude. Anyway, though, after one of the best outro cutscenes, you are done the Easter egg. You get 2,500 XP and a perkaholic. Take fucking no transit. Sorry. Anyway, though, that's the Easter egg. Absolutely amazing. Like, I'm literally a 10 out of 10. Why can't the rest of the Easter eggs be like this from the previous maps? Holy shit, they knocked it out of the park. Something else so good about this map I would like to talk about really quickly is the zero gravity. So only on this map, in the Undercroft, you get zero gravity. Of course, this is just, you know, to replicate the exosuit for multiplayer, but it's something really cool, and you can do a lot of cool plays with it. Holy shit, we were on the pros for like 500 hours, but I just had so much good to say about this map. I can't help it. And the cons of this map are just like Origins, though. They're just more nitpicks than anything, but I still want to talk about them nonetheless. Something that really bothers me is the dragons, which are just clones of the Cerberus heads from Mob of the Dead that require more zombies. There's no excuse for how slow this is. It's just really tedious, because you gotta wait for the dragon to finish chewing, and it's just, there's no way to speed it up. And this is definitely one of the low points of the map. But thankfully, it's in the beginning, so, you know, you can remedy it. Another problem I have with this map is the Easter egg step, where you need to shoot the wisps 2 times. This step should only be done once. There is no reason for it to be done a second time. But once again, you can do them in rapid succession. Literally, the next round after you do the first step, you can do the next one. So it's really not the biggest deal, but it is really stupid how it's 2 of the same step, where you could just get the slab of rock on the first teleport, but you can't. You have to do it twice. That is really stupid. Something else stupid I want to talk about really fast is the rocket test. I don't know what they were thinking with this. Yes, you can manually start one, which is great for some bows, but the fact that the rocket test activates at random points and can literally be the death of you, or the failure of an Easter egg step with the wisp, because the rocket test can go off during the part you need to teleport back in time. The rocket test is just a terribly designed feature that cannot be turned off, and you're forced to play with this feature regardless if you want to or not. When it works great because it can one-shot the Panzer, but for the most part, this is more of an irritation than a good feature. Something else that's really irritating to me is this map's intro. For every single map in this game, post and pre this map, all have CGI intros. What happened with this intro? Why is it in 2D slideshow? I know I was talking about how I like the style, and I do, but a game full of CG intros just has one random intro with crucial story details in it. It's just a slideshow, just comes off as unbelievably lazy. There's no reason this should have been animated. Can you imagine the Origins robot in combat in a CG cutscene? That would have been sick. This map's intro is a huge letdown, especially considering how Dempsey just recites the Easter egg outro lines in it. Yeah, the slideshow animation is okay, but like the storytelling is terrible. It's presented in such a bad way because of the repetitive dialogue. I don't know, but that pretty much wraps up Der Eisendrache to me. Der Eisendrache is an amazing map that I never not want to play. Anytime somebody asks if we want to play this map, I'm always saying yes. This map is just a joy to play solo co-op. It doesn't matter who you play with. It's a fun for the family, this map is. And it's easily the best map in this game up to this point. Does it get better? Well, we'll find out.